you're speaking like very matter of fact, very confidently. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. Was it always that like organic for you? Were you ever fearful or timid about anything? What made me think about that specifically is when you were talking about when you were taking Dwayne Boyd's class and would
Mhm.
like go to improv night, everybody's looking forward to seeing your scene and you just jump in and do your thing. Is there
Mhm.
pressure? Is there like fear? Are any hard emotions happening that you have to process?
It's definitely comedy isn't easy, and it is definitely a muscle that you have to, really train for sure. And it's one of those things where, if you step away from it for too long, you can be rusty. You know what I mean? So definitely with improv, there's always some nerves involved, but I would always take the approach of like if you're nervous, you're ready. Or like if you have butterflies, then your adrenaline is rushing at its highest pace, and like your mind is really moving quickly. So you're prepared. You're more prepared than you think you're nervous and not gonna do well. And so that was more so just mindset stuff for me, especially when we would do improv shows, because improv shows are very different because you're using like the audience's feedback, you're using like the audience's suggestions. So you really don't know what the audience is gonna say. Um, so it's really just, kind of mind being quick. So I would definitely be nervous for those, but it's like when you hit the stage, then you're kind of more comfortable because it's like, all right, I'm here now. I can't be nervous now because I have to really focus on what I'm doing. And for stand up, I mean, the same way, stand up is to me a lot harder than improv because it's only you on the stage, and it's you versus the room. And a lot of different elements come in with stand up. Sometimes you're in a bar that's kind of just already a little loud, or somebody might have a party going, and a lot of chattering, and the waitress trying to get orders, and so you're dealing with a lot at the same time while you're trying to make these people laugh who've never seen you before. So it's definitely, the more you do it, the more confidence you get with it. But my thing is really just kind of, trying to be in the moment as much as possible. And, even with stand up, like when things are kind of happening, it's always best to address them, especially if it's something that's loud and everybody notices. If you're on stage and somebody just like sneezes real loud, it's like, why not address that? Everybody heard it, everybody saw it, you know what I mean? Or I've done jokes where I thought that they were going to be funnier than they were, or the crowd just didn't
Yeah,
catch
that's
it
the
as much.
gag.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you address it, it's funny. You know what I mean? And I'd say something like, "Yeah, when I wrote that, I thought that that was much funnier." Or when I told my mom that joke, she died laughing. So I don't know
Yeah, I
why.
really thought y'all were gonna get
Right?
it.
And that's funny because they all saw that it was a fail, and the fact that you addressed it is like, okay, that's funny, because if not, they're just kind of uncomfortable, like, if you say
Yeah.
it wasn't funny, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can laugh now because I didn't know how you felt about that. Um,
Okay, let me give you a scenario and you tell me what went wrong.
okay,
So I was I was watching a stand-up show. I think they had like a open mic or like a anybody can just jump up if they got 5 minutes or something.
okay,
And a guy went up there and he had like a very like chill demeanor, da 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 da.
mhm,
And he was saying his joke and like the audience we just weren't feeling it.
mhm,
And he said he was like, y'all are supposed to be laughing at my jokes. Like I thought, this was a comedy show. Y'all didn't come to laugh. And but even when he like was saying what was on his mind, it
mhm,
still didn't make
mhm.
us laugh.
Yeah,
So what happened?
that could have been a number of things. So some comedians do have a super chill demeanor, which is good, but you still want to kind of get a laugh within the first like 10 to 15 seconds just to kind of establish, you know, I am funny, but this is kind of my demeanor, and I'm not going to give you a whole lot. You know what I mean? I'm just going to give you this, but it's going to be funny. So a lot of times when you don't get that laugh kind of right off the bat, people kind of lose interest, or if you don't seem confident kind of right off the bat, people kind of feel a little shaky, like, you know, I don't know. This could be a long night for him. You know what I mean? Because I can already feel that nervous energy, or I can kind of feel that
Yeah.
this isn't what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as soon
Yeah.
as the audience kind of picks up on that, it's like, uh, it's I don't know, but I'm gonna try to be with you, but I don't know. You know. Um, so it could have been that. It could have been the pacing or the delivery of the joke. Um, because again, just tweaking that little stuff can change everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, it really could have been a number of different things. And like you have to have certain jokes for certain crowds, you know, and that's huge. Like being able to come into a comedy spot and reading a room and knowing like, okay, I have, you know, it's like some older people in here. This is maybe a crowd that's more so between 30s to 50s, you know. So you coming up in there with like millennial type jokes or just stuff that's maybe super like social media heavy or stuff like that. That's not their crowd. That's not
Right.
their lane, you know. So really kind of peeping your crowd and knowing like, okay, I got to give them the church joke or the
Yeah.
you know, my auntie did this, or you know what I mean, something
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
capture their attention. And then a lot of times, you know, when I first get into a room, or I first get on the stage, I like to my first joke to be something that's going on in the room or something that happened like before I got up on the stage, so that we're all on one accord with what we saw or what we
I like
experienced.
that. I
Mhm.
like that. That's
That's
really good.
that's a lot of times the best way, because you're not sure if everybody's going to connect with all of your other jokes, but if you say something right off the bat that y'all just, even if it's not a lot of people in the audience, you know, you can just kind of get up on stage like, damn, this show we could have did this on FaceTime or something, or
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
damn living room. Um,
Mhm.
and it's just like, yeah, you're right. It's ain't too many people, you know, so it's kind of grasps their attention right off the back. Then you're more comfortable getting into your set. And
Gotcha.
a lot of times you don't get comfortable until you get that first laugh.
Yeah.
And okay, so now we rocking, y'all with me. Let's do it, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because I've definitely, seen it go very different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen some bombs. I've bombed before,
Mhm.
for sure. And just, you know, had to go back and think about like, okay, what was it? Was it the jokes? Was it delivery? Was it the timing? You know, was the joke that I did at the end, was it strong enough to be like my last joke? So it takes a lot, but yeah, it's all a learning experience, and it's all working, you know, working that comedic muscle for sure.
That's right. That's right. And I love it. I think we can go ahead and end right there. Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's the gems for me.
Thank you. No,
So
I appreciate it.